Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how the design of the everyday buildings around us impacts two absolutely huge things: our future wallets and the future of our planet. Let's get right into it.
So, let's kick things off with a simple question. When we think about pollution, we usually picture traffic jams or giant factory smokestacks, right? But the truth is, the very structures we live, work, and learn in, those silent energy guzzlers where we spend almost all of our time, are actually hiding a massive climate secret.
Get this, buildings account for approximately 40% of global carbon emissions. 40%! On top of that, they chew through over 70% of the electricity in places like the US. I mean, think about the sheer amount of power required for lighting, heating, cooling, and keeping all of our devices charged up. It is a massive footprint.
Section 1. What are efficient buildings? The superhero solution.
To solve this massive problem, we need a superhero, and that's energy efficiency. An energy-efficient building is basically one that uses smarter design, better materials, and some clever tech to significantly reduce the amount of electricity, gas, or heating fuel it needs to function. And here's the crucial part. Efficiency definitely doesn't mean sitting in the dark wearing a heavy winter coat. It simply means reducing waste while maintaining a perfectly comfortable and honestly, often better indoor environment.
Section 2. Features that save energy. The toolkit.
So what's actually in this toolkit? Well, these buildings combine passive strategies, things like super thick insulation in the walls and roofs, with active systems. We're talking highly efficient heating like heat pumps, LED lighting, renewable energy from solar panels, and smart building controls. Imagine a classroom where the lights and the AC only turn on when students actually walk into the room. That is active efficiency in action.
A great way to think about it is comparing a leaky cup to a high-quality thermos. A traditional building is pretty much a leaky cup, literally spilling out the expensive heating and cooling you just paid for. But an efficient building, that acts like a high-quality thermos, locking all that comfort inside. You wouldn't pour hot coffee into a paper cup full of holes, right? So we really shouldn't pump expensive heat into a drafty, leaky building either.
Now, we don't just build brand new thermoses from scratch. Retrofitting, which basically means upgrading older, inefficient buildings, is a massive part of the solution. By keeping the existing structure and just upgrading the systems and insulation, we save 50 to 75% of the embodied carbon. That's all the carbon pollution that would have been released by tearing the old building down, manufacturing brand new concrete and steel, and building the whole thing over again.
Section 3. Cutting down operating costs. Saving money. Wasting energy in a regular building is honestly like leaving your fridge door wide open all day long. It just doesn't make financial sense. Efficient buildings seriously slash monthly utility bills and require way less maintenance, mostly because the equipment doesn't have to constantly run at maximum power. Plus, they avoid what the real estate world calls a brown discount. That means older, polluting buildings actually drop in value over time, while energy-efficient ones can command 5 to 15% higher rents. To put that into perspective, simply installing smart building automation systems can trim energy costs by a massive 20 to 30%. These systems use real-time data to tweak the heating, cooling, and lighting, ensuring absolutely no power is wasted on an empty space. Section 4. Shrinking our carbon footprint. Helping the planet.
So we know it helps the wallet, but how does it help the planet? Well, the math here is super simple. If a building demands less electricity and heating, fewer fossil fuels have to be burned at the power plant down the road. This makes efficiency one of the absolute fastest and cheapest ways to cut emissions globally.
Take heating, for example. Swapping out an old gas boiler for an electric heat pump is a total game changer. Heat pumps don't generate heat by burning fossil fuels on site. They literally just move existing heat around. This makes them roughly 3 times more efficient than gas, and since they run on electricity, their carbon footprint actually shrinks every single year as our power grids add more clean wind and solar energy.
Section 5. A real-world success story. Proof it works.
Let's look at a real-world example. The Empire State Building in New York, obviously an absolute icon. By retrofitting the windows, adding better insulation, and upgrading its internal systems, they actually cut the energy use of this 80-year-old skyscraper by nearly 40%. They're saving $4.4 million a year, which is expected to pay off the entire retrofitting cost in just 3 years. It's proof that even historic, aging structures can be completely transformed into climate superheroes.
But it's not just massive skyscrapers. On a smaller, more everyday scale, look at the Multnomah County Library Operations Center in Portland. They took an abandoned Safeway grocery store and transformed it into a net zero building, meaning it produces as much energy as it uses. Instead of just knocking the old store down, they adapted it. This kept thousands of tons of waste right out of the landfill and reduced the project's embodied carbon by an incredible 66%.
Section 6. Why Building Efficiency Matters. The conclusion.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, so let's lock in your 3 key takeaways. First, traditional buildings are, unfortunately, leaky energy guzzlers. Second, smart design and strategic retrofits act like a thermos to trap comfort and completely cut waste. And third, improving efficiency is quite literally the fastest way to save serious cash while simultaneously fighting climate change.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Just take a second and look around the room you're sitting in right now. Check out the windows, look at the lights, try to spot the thermostat. What simple, everyday changes could turn your current space from a leaky cup into a high-performance thermos? Because really, understanding how our own spaces work is the very first step in redesigning them for a better future. Keep asking those questions, and thanks so much for exploring this topic with me.
Hey everyone!